Hey guys, welcome to the TBD podcast. My name is DB Miner. I'm here with.
Griffy Gruff.
And Ucro.
Well, we're bringing you here with the podcast to take an hour of your time that you'll never get back. So, hope you guys enjoy. We're gonna be listing off a few things about ourselves today, just to start off the first episode. So, like I said, my name is DB Miner. We're all Twitch streamers at this point, so that's where you can find us if you'd like our content. You want to see individual stuff. Um, yeah, down somewhere. It's gonna be somewhere, but well, yeah, up, down,
Just
cross. We'll
everyone
have
points
like,
a different fucking direction.
yeah. We'll have it zoom across the screen. So I've been doing Twitch for about I think 3 or 4 years now, I'd like to say. It's been a nice hobby of mine. I always like interacting with people. That's why I started Twitch, is communicating with people while I'm gaming. It's like if I'm gonna be sitting there fucking growing roots out of my ass, sitting in a chair all day playing video games anyway, I might as well sit there and talk to people while I'm doing it. So that's why I started. What about you, Griff?
And I think it was probably 3 weeks ago I started doing it. A lot of my online friends do it, and it looked like something that was really interesting. Basically, because you get to, potentially meet new people. You get to hang out with those that you do know, and you get to do fun stuff while you're just kind of talking. And what's crazy about all this too is that Minor Ukro, I have never met you in real life,
Mm-hmm.
but I have like a really good connection with you guys already just from online things. Um, and if I can continue that sort of thing in a community that I can claim as my own, while doing things that not only make me happy, but make the viewers or listeners, whatever, happy, that really does bring a lot of enjoyment to me. So that's
I agree.
the main reason I started doing
I'm pretty much in the same boat as Griff, really. Looking at it for a few years, debating on whether or not to actually do it, and then life from a curveball. I had a lot of lot more spare time. Started up. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fun to have your own little slice of the internet to have to yourself, just to
it.
kind of like make your own community. So it's fun having that, just like a little community to yourself, whether it be like online or group of friends. So it's definitely a great part of Twitch. So I guess a little bit about ourselves. Music is a big thing for me. I'm fucking big into music, music and video
Oh yeah.
games. So I mean, I listen to a little bit of everything. Gorillaz is my all-time favorite. That's why I guess you can categorize that as like what alternative. I think they're alternative, uh, hip hop or
it'd be like alt rap. I think. I think that's what they class
something
into.
like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Okay.
alternative, like that, and Juice World and Post and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little all over the place. Yeah, I know. All three of us pretty much have like a different sense of music.
Yeah. So my music tastes have been everywhere. When I was a kid, I grew up in the South and I was raised in a church. So, like, Southern gospel music was a huge thing. And, like, even now, I still listen to it every once in a while because, like, I'm not so religious anymore as I used to be when I was younger, but the Southern gospel music, it can get so pretty. Like, just the
Yeah,
Hmm.
harmonies and just the chord progressions that they use and just the passion. You're like, you know what? You may or may not believe anything that they're saying, but God, it sounds good. Um, and then also being raised in the South, I listened to a lot of country music. And then it was like Southern rock, like Leonard Skinner and Blackfoot and 38 Special, stuff like that. And then I met my now stepdad, and he was more into just like rock or metal in general. And then that progressed, and now I'm listening to everything. I listen to like Taylor Swift. I listen to freaking screamo, like heavy metal stuff, like Sleep Token. I love those guys. I listen to. I'm not a big reggae guy. I'm not a big rap guy. I do like some rap, but those are probably the only two genres that I would say I don't really get too deep into.
Yeah, with that southern church music, man. Like I went to church when I was a kid. I wasn't in the South; it was more in the West.
Mhm.
But even if you don't really believe in what's going on, when that music hits, it fucking hits your soul. You're like, I
Yeah.
believe in it right
Mhm.
now. Like that shit's happening.
It's like, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, that shit. It definitely
That's
does hit.
right.
Yeah, my taste in music's been really weird. I grew up in like the northern part of England, so we didn't have the massive growth south of England when it came to music. So a lot of our stuff was coming over from America, with a lot of Irish stuff. You like Scottish bands started popping up in the north of England. Got into things like punk when I was really young, like thrash. I feel like the right category name to give it.
Okay.
Got into rap from like the age of like 6 or 7. I was sat in a car with my nan, and she had the, the Curtain Call album. I think it was like one of
Oh,
Eminem's
Eminem.
like early albums, and I heard my band for the first time when I was sat in this horrible like silvery grey Fiat Punto with my nan at the age of like 6 or 7. It's the first time I heard Eminem. I've been attached to like that type of music since then. I've like dabbled into rock and all that type of stuff, but rap's just been like a consistent thing all the way up.
Yeah, I don't think I got into rap until recent years. It was really when I moved to Arizona that I kind of got into it because I'd listen to things every now and then. Like, Gorillaz has artists they throw in there. Like, they've had, I think, I don't know why I can't think of his name at the moment. They've had a few artists every now and then. I'm like, this is all right. But I think once I moved in with my roommates in Arizona, they liked Juice World and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of vibed with that a bit. And that's when I kind of branched out, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely more my style. I like all that kind of stuff.
Did you guys ever have a dubstep moment? Like a
Oh,
dubstep
Of
phase?
course.
God. Yep.
Yeah, of course.
I still fuck with the dubstep every once in a while.
It was
Not as
I
heavy
think
as I
everyone
used
had
to, but
I think everyone had their dubstep moment.
wasn't I don't know, it wasn't like mainstream dubstep that we got into. Like we had like Skrillex and stuff like that, but it was like
right.
I don't know if either of you have heard or anyone that's not listening to this heard, but there was a YouTube channel called UKF Dubstep, and they do the weirdest fucking remixes, but they slapped. It was like they do like a remix of like the fucking pokey rap, but it had this like
Yeah.
really heavy like drum bass fucking Skrillex mix over. It was so good.
Wait, so you said something about the channel having the craziest remixes. Minor, I'm pretty sure you may have heard it, but I don't know about you since you're over in the UK. Late at night, certain like pop music channels, like on the radio, they'll have like remix hour or remix
Mhm.
night, and it'll just be like Adele, but it'll be
Yeah,
Like
it's
party music?
and just Adele's just singing. It's like they just dub two
Yeah.
songs over each other,
Yeah.
and you'll be listening, and you'll be like, "All right, it's remix hour on 45.7 the beat," and you're like, "This actually sounds like shit. Change it."
yeah. There's a few radio stations over it. It's normally like a Friday and Saturday night when people are going out for like the weekends.
Yeah.
So it's like Radio 1 Extra is like a really big one for it. They'll play like the more like hip music. It's got like a bit more bass and a bit more rhythm to it. But then you'll get ones like Capital that's like quite big in the northwest, where it'll be good for you, Bio, with your Rodrigo, but it's got this fucking drum and bass booming over it. It's so good.
I was big into Deadmau 5 and like Blackmill.
Dead Mouse.
Yeah, Deadmau5.
Ooh, Blackmill, freaking great band. I've
I
been
think
listening to
you
a
and I have
lot of
talked
their
to
stuff.
that. Yeah, I think you and I
I've
have
been
talked
listening.
about Blackmill before.
I've been listening to Blackmill a lot recently.
Yeah, they got some good shit. And then
yeah.
the Fat Rat, I think it's called. I think they do some like remix party dubstep type shit that I used to listen to when I was younger. But Deadmau5 was man. I think he's technically classified as like party mix or some shit.
I
Like he's technically not dubstep.
I think Dead Mouse would be probably closer to like EDM because of like the tempo
EDM
and
or
like
party.
the way that it's produced. That is probably closer to EDM than what it is to like.
Yeah, I used to fuck with that shit all the time.
But it's electric in it. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more I want that vibe.
I tell you, one artist that is in that genre or that type of genre is Illenium. I have never heard a song by Illenium that I didn't like. He gets a lot of other people, and I guess a lot of EDM or dubstep or whatever you want to classify them as. I guess a lot of them do this where they'll get like a popular artist to sing over their music and stuff. But it's just something the way that Illenium does it. And I'm pretty sure I've shared some of his music with you, Minor.
Yeah, I have one of his songs.
Oh God, some of that stuff just hits me like it's not even dubstep, so it's not like pump up and get like jumping. It's just like pretty music.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to really explain it, but go check him out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, do you guys have like a weird, like rabbit hole type story about how you found your favorite artist? Because I was just thinking about that when Euchre was talking about his.
Ooh.
Because I didn't even know about Gorillaz until I heard. I think it had to have been one of their most popular songs. It was either Feel Good Inc. or what's the other one? It's the Cowboy. I'm ashamed of myself not knowing it. Clint Eastwood. Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
I said it
It was
first.
one of those two. Yeah, take my crown. Yeah, they had like a song that played on the radio, and I was like, oh, I feel like I've heard this before. I'll look into them. And I looked up on YouTube, and I saw the music video for it. I'm like, oh, this is a fucking amazing art style. And so I just went down the rabbit hole of all the Gorillaz shit, and I became obsessed with them. I've just been listening to them ever since. So, like, it was like if I didn't listen to that one song on the radio, I would have never known about fucking Gorillaz. So it's just kind of weird to think about that.
Oh yeah. So I wouldn't say that they're my favorite, but they're definitely in my top 5. It's a band called Greta Van Fleet. They've been around for a while. They are a modern band, but they have a very old style of like classic rock kind of sound. When they first came out, they were compared to Led Zeppelin, and it's very understandable why, because they had a very Led Zeppelin sound to them. Even the singer sounded like Robert Plant. But I had never heard of them until I went out one night. I was doing karaoke. I love singing. That's like my freaking passion. And I went out one night when I had moved up here to West Virginia, and I was like, oh, let me go find this karaoke place. Looked up some places, like, oh, this place is like 20 minutes away. Let's go check it out. Met this DJ. Her and I became good friends, and over the last 5 years, maybe, we kept a good like musical type relationship where I'd go see her shows and stuff like that. But I haven't seen her in a while. But when I first sang, I let it go. Like if anybody's ever heard me sing, I just busted out there. And she was like, dude, you ever heard of this band called Greta Van Fleet? I'm like, who? Like, that's a fucking weird name. So I went and checked it out, and I got to listening to them. I was like, maybe I kind of do sound like them. So I got to listen into their music and just kept going. And now they're on like 6 albums. And they had their first album come out in like 2017 or 2018, something like that. And I love them to death. Those are some fun guys. They do really good music too.
I got shown there's a All Signs Point to Waterdale, A Day to Remember song.
Yeah.
So I got
like that.
Yeah, so I got sent that. It was all listen to this because I was like just getting into like that type of music at the time, and it was this like leather jacket that I think Jeremy McKinnon, I think his name is, like the lead singer for A Day to Remember. He was wearing this leather jacket. That's a really fucking cool leather jacket. Couldn't find it anywhere. About 4 days went past. I tweeted him But is there any fucking way that you can tell me where you got this jacket from in this music video? And I shit you not, within like half an hour, I got a notification on Twitter. Jenna Buchanan has replied to your tweet.
No way.
I got locked into a data member for about 3 weeks. I know like probably like half of the discography like off by heart now.
That's pretty
That's
sweet.
crazy.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and find that tweet somewhere.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
would-
that's cool on him too for actually, reaching out to his fan base.
So
Yeah.
I
shout
guess a
out a
lot
day
of
to the
people
member.
get yeah, they get so busy or they have somebody else controlling their social media, so that's pretty cool.
that was pretty cool. So we're all fucking gamers here. We're all gremlins of the controller. I wanna know about like your guys' like history with video games. I'm kind of interested in like how that all started.
Go ahead, you grow.
Should we go in age order?
Yeah, so you're the oldest, so we'll start with
I'm not.
you.
No, Griff's older than me, right?
I'm the oldest. 30.
I don't know. This guy looks 45 down here.
I'm 28, motherfucker.
Alright, Griff.
So, all right. Well, I'll go first. Age before beauty, and on both of those things.
And mine is going last
So-
both times.
Damn, burn. So, as a child, my first gaming console would have been a Nintendo 64, I believe.
hmm
I had Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64. At some point, I got Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, along with a ton of other games. After that, it was my PlayStation. So PlayStation 1, actually. My mom and dad are divorced. They got divorced when I was like 3, maybe. So I had Nintendo at my mom's, PlayStation at my dad's. And then for the longest time, it was that way. And then all of a sudden, Xbox comes out. So now I have Xbox at my mom's, PlayStation 2 at my dad's, and then 360 at my mom's, still PlayStation 2 at my dad's. And then it just kept going until I got to the point I'm at now. Now I primarily am a PC gamer because you can do so much on a computer, dude. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a handful of things that console's probably better because one, they may be exclusive to that console, or you're having to wait a couple years for, like, what was it, Spider-Man? It came out in 2022
2018.
or
The first one, I think, yeah, it was like 2018, 2019.
yeah. So that was a PlayStation exclusive, and then it didn't actually come to PC until
I think
when?
it was
Like
22.
2000 yeah, something like that.
22, really? That it was that late? I thought it
Mhm.
was like 2020 or something. That's crazy.
So, those are the limitations. If you want a certain game, you just gotta hope that they bring it out on a PC.
Yeah, or just
But
bite the
if they
bullet and spend $500.
Play
Yeah.
one game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what really influenced me was just starting off was like party games, and then when I got Zelda, dude, that just opened up a whole new in my head, and it made you think. All the puzzles that Zelda has. The combat was really fun. The story was interesting, and then believe it or not, freaking Tomb Raider, dude. Tomb Raider was such a huge game for me. I was little. I had no clue how to play it. I was just like running around shooting shit, just jumping across things and making Laura dive off of cliffs and like break her neck.
And that's the game that turned you into a man, huh?
That made me a man, baby. After that, I would say it's been just all over the place. RPGs, first person shooters was a huge thing for me. Not so much anymore. I tend to like a good story, and I like something that has longevity to it. So one of the games that comes to mind is The Witcher 3. When
Yeah.
that game first came out, dude, I was hooked. I played the absolute shit out of that game, and I still never beat all the DLCs. Like, this is such an in-depth game.
Did
And
you
then,
grow
of
up on
course,
Halo?
yeah, dude, Halo. I played Halo all the time. I had I think it was my 16th birthday party. I had a bunch of my buddies from high school come to my house, and we just had this old, like, big ass boxy TV in my bedroom, and we all played split screen Halo 2 for. I don't think we went to bed. We stayed up
Yeah.
all night. I had to
Yeah.
like stay quiet. I didn't want to piss on my mom, but because we were upstairs, her bedroom's downstairs, and we lived in this old house. And if you farted, like she would hear it. So
No
and it didn't help.
insulation.
Yeah, so it didn't help that you had like 6 teenage boys upstairs in this crickety ass floor, and you're trying to be quiet, and you snipe my buddy over here, and he's like, "Damn it!" You're like, "Shh, my mom's sleeping."
Shut up.
Remember
Damn,
the old LAN party days
yeah.
when the game
Yeah.
first came out? So good.
So I never had a LAN party. It was just always split screen stuff. We actually no. On my birthday, one of my friends did bring his Xbox, and he brought a TV, and we did. Pretty sure what we did was 4 people on this screen and like 3 on that or something like
Yeah.
that. That was interesting.
I've
And
done that
then,
a few times where you like have like the different consoles where you do split screen, but I've never had like a. I've always seen pictures or stories where people are like, yeah, we like brought all of our PCs over and we had like fucking 16 player WoW going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never had that shit going. That sounds crazy.
Like, damn, how many tables do you have?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I guess to kind of wrap it up, I'm not afraid to say it. I still play RuneScape, y'all.
Oh, dude, he is big on fucking RuneScape.
Also
This
streams
motherfucker right
RuneScape
here.
too.
Old school and RuneScape 3. I don't care. I like both of the versions. I'll play a couple months of this old school, and then I'll get tired of it, and I'll go play a couple months of the new school, and then I'll just switch back and forth. Right now, I'm in an old school kick. I've been playing that shit not since it came out, but like maybe a year after it came out. Buddy from high school got me hooked onto it, and it's been a part of my life since
Is that
then.
the same account? What's your oldest account on old
Dude.
RuneScape?
My oldest account, I don't even remember because I want to say they did some kind of update thing a couple years ago. It was like if you don't log into it because they had so many accounts, it would get deleted. But I haven't tried it. I don't know. But my oldest account would probably be about 17, 18, maybe even 20 years old today.
That'd be crazy.
But I've updated. I make an account. I get it so high, and then I'm like, I'm getting kind of bored with it. Let me start a new account. And so I've got all these freaking accounts and all this
Yeah.
shit. But I'm trying not to do that because I understand the importance of keeping an account
Yeah.
because they have rewards for people like, oh, you've had this account for 10 years. Here's a special item that no one else has unless you've played for 10 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I'm keeping my stuff.
What about you,
Okay.
Crow?
Probably not that different. Riffs, to be honest. Is it? Wait, hang on. I think it was
You
the.
just piggybacking off me?
I had the Atari.
Yeah, I'm the same. You go ahead, Miner.
Yeah, what that guy said.
I think it was the Atari Jaguar, the first console I had. It was the Jaguar 64 GameCube. GameCube come before or after the 64?
I think he was after.
After. So yeah, they were in Jaguar 64 GameCube, PS1, PS2. Got the original Xbox. Got the 360. Got the PS3. Got the Xbox One. Bought my first PC. Got rid of my Xbox One. Got a Series X, Xbox One X. Got that like 2 months before the Series X came out for some fucking stupid reason.
It's cheap.
And then obviously we had the console shortage where no one could get a new console.
All right.
So I didn't end up getting a new one. So I've still got.
Nope.
I don't know if that was my car. I was about to go check.
Fucking rude. Yeah, I've
Like, hey, you guys are doing a podcast. Let me be a dick real quick.
currently still sat on a Xbox One X, and I've got my PC.
Nice.
That's not how we're out. think that's
Remember,
everything that I've had.
You remember like your first gaming experience? Like, what's the earliest thing you can think of?
I had the Bob the Builder game
Let's
for
go.
I think it was I can't remember what it was for. I'm gonna have to look it up. It was I'm gonna have to find it. Give me-
He still has it. That's fucking. That's nuts.
He's like, and it's right here too. I
Yeah,
got that thing on lock, bro.
I've been
Dude, it
80%
is.
in this shit.
He's got it like right there.
It's my
What the
phone.
Oh, it's on your phone.
I
Oh,
thought you were like, yeah, the game is right here. I've been fucking 80%
it right here.
You
So-
saying that reminded me, the fucking, did you guys might be a little too old, but the Leapfrog consoles for like kids, that's probably the first gaming type thing that I had.
Bro, you just unlocked a memory I haven't thought of ever, dude. It wasn't that. What was it? It was like maybe it may have been Leapfrog, but they had stuff for kindergartners, first grade, second grade, all the way up to like 12th grade. And I think like the main guy was a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Yeah, I cannot remember what it was called, but I remember playing these on my mom's computer way back in AOL days or dial up and stuff. Had to put the CD in, pop it in. I was probably 8, 9, 10, something around there. And it may have been a Head Start game. I don't remember, but I used to play the crap out of that game. And it was all educational,
Yeah.
but I just found it so fun.
I remember I had one like that. It was like the putt racer games. It was like the same thing. It was like the CD you put into like the old fucking boxy ass computer. But it was like a little animated car. I think people do fucking any percent runs of putt now on like Twitch and shit because it only takes like 5 or 6 minutes to get through them. But that game, that and Leapfrog, I think were like the first kind of experience with gaming I would do. Because like as I got a little older, I got like I literally have it right here. It's fucking. This was my first ever console. Was the GameCube or the Game Boy Advanced SP.
Dude.
Fucking that thing, man. Pokemon and like I think I had some weird things. Like I had like Danny Phantom and Shrek and a few things like that. But I remember always going back to the Leapfrog because like there was like drawing games and like stuff like that that was just kind of fun. Or like if I would get grounded, my dad's like, "Oh, you can't play video games." I'm like, "Oh, well, this is educational." So and he'd be
Oh,
like, "Fuck
darn.
it, bro." Yeah, he'd be like, "Whatever." So I'd be like, "Yeah, fuck you. I'm playing my Leapfrog."
So I found the game. It's called Bob
Yeah?
the Builder. Can we fix it? It was released for the PS1 in 2001. It's not the earliest game that I played, but it's like the earliest memory I have of playing a game.
Mhm.
So I would have been like 5 when the game came out. And
Damn.
I can remember this mini game, and I think it's Spud's birthday, and you just making a cake, and I
Oh
spent
yeah.
hours on this fucking mini game. Fucking hours on it, like, but I'd take it into like
Every
preschool, and I'd be like,
I don't even think I had a PS1. I think I skipped straight to PS2. I got a lot of memories about PS2.
Oh,
Um,
same.
Yeah, because my mom's it's kind of like what you were saying, Griff. Like the families would have different things. At my mom's
Mhm.
house, it was pretty much PS2, and that's like all we had as I grew up was just PS2. I think probably roughly around when it came out, and like we never got any other consoles after that. And then my dad's, I had like everything else. We got like the PS3, all the Xboxes, we got the Wii, all that kind of shit. I'd like kind of grow up with the times. But my mom's, I would just grind the fuck out of like the Lego games, like the Lego Star Wars games. We had like Rock Band. Man, what's another one? There's just like there's like a few games where I'd always the original Battlefront, dude. I have some
Oh,
very
dude,
vivid memories
yeah.
about that. Because I went to my mom's on the weekends, so I'd be like, "All right, school's out, time to go to my mom's." I had like a routine. I would wake up in the morning. I would make fucking Eggo waffles with butter and grape jam, and I'd have like 3 or 4 of those things stacked. I would go on single player Battlefront 2, and I would pick every single map because I hated the space maps too, the ones where you had to fly.
Oh, I love
So if
those.
Oh, dude, I fucking hated those with a passion. But if you select all, it would select every single map except for the space ones for
Mm.
some reason. So you would do that, and it would just go through every game in order. So I would just fucking eat my jelly waffles and go through every single map. It would take me like 3 or 4 hours just sit there playing solo. Oh, dude.
Dude,
I
I
miss
would
that
do
game.
the exact same thing, but it would be with my brother. So we'd do a split screen, and we'd either be on teams or opposing teams. But pick every map. I may have had like one or two that I didn't care for, so I'd take them off, and I would like max out the conquest victory points,
Yeah.
especially on the outer space ones. Like you're just flying around. I loved it, dude. I would just fly around, blow stuff up, shoot all the fighters down, stuff like that. Battlefront 2 is
You ever play Squadrons? Because I feel like that's supposed to be like the updated version of like the space games in
I
Battlefront.
started it. I maybe an hour in. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Not saying it's a
Yeah.
bad game. I just personally didn't care.
I think a lot of people said it wasn't the best. But when they released that, or they announced, I was like, oh, good, it's all the aspects I hated from Battlefront. I won't be touching that one.
Alright.
Oh, I think the only thing I enjoyed about the space missions, whenever I did play it rarely, was like flying into one of the ships and then hopping out to like go in battle, like on
Mm,
foot. So I'm like, that
mhm.
feels so cool to like fly into another ship and then like dismount to fight people on foot. I was like, that's cool.
Because you had to like blow up the engine core doing that, or that's one way you
Something
can
like
do it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I I just remembered because you would unlock a character once you got like a certain amount of kills or something like that. Because you had like use points to select a character, I think, when you're doing conquest.
Oh yeah.
And you got fucking Yoda on Dagobah, but like if you weren't attacking, his character model would just be under the swamp. So you could just hide under the swamp water, and then as the stormtroopers are coming by, you would just do like a little spin attack and then go back under the water. You just keep doing that, but they just couldn't see you. Cheese the fuck
Deadly
out of that level.
Like a
Yeah, pretty
sprinkler.
much.
That's funny.
Yeah. I think the same for me though. I play a little bit of everything. There's like I'm not big into racing games or sports games or anything like that, but everything else that I've tried to dip my toe into a little bit because there's a little bit of charm for each type of game genre.
I know Yuko's big into racing games.
Mm-hmm.
Need for Speed,
Speed,
particularly.
Burnout, Gran Turismo when I was younger.
There was
Um,
another one. I remember playing it on Nintendo 64. It's called Rush. You remember that
Rush.
game?
don't remember
It was
much.
like so. It was like this is another game I played the crap out of when I was a kid. It was all time based. So you had to hit checkpoints, otherwise the time would run out and the level would be over. But it was all like super sport cars, and it's just normal racing game. But if you didn't hit the checkpoints, it wouldn't add time.
So it's
Um,
like the games at the arcade. So you'd put like your
yeah.
money in and you'd have to get checkpoints at a certain time, or your credit would run out. One of them type of games.
Yep, but it was on Nintendo 64.
I think something we can all relate to is Tony Hawk though. Tony Hawk was
Oh yeah.
Brother, I spent so much time on that game.
Yeah,
Love
that
those
goes back
games.
to the whole thing with my mom's. Is like we only had the PS2, so I know Yuko's gonna hate me for this, but I fucking grinded the shit out of Project 8. That's my baby right there. I never beat it, surprisingly. But I put so many fucking hours into that, making new accounts and going through it multiple times.
I think on the topic of Tony Hawk, it's either American Wasteland or Underground 2.
Underground 2,
Which
let's
is like
go.
my-
Old dudes in the chat.
I was saying that even Underground 1 was a really good game for the time. It's probably aged really poorly, but for the time when it
Yeah.
came out, it was a really solid game.
I think I've told you about this too, Crow, but we had Project 8 and me and my stepdad played it a lot. And then at one point we're like, what are the other Tony Hawks like? So we would go to like the bargain bins in GameStop to see if we could find other Tony Hawk games. And I don't know, man, all the other ones are just shit compared to Project 8. I'm going to piss off a lot of people, but there was something about the way the levels were set up, and then also the fact that you could actually get off your skateboard. That was the big thing for me, because on Project 8 you could get off of it to like kind of reset yourself, or if you just needed to run somewhere. But the other ones, it was like you were fucking glued to that thing, so like you would just be
Mhm.
bouncing into walls, just like like you'd have to like sit there and try and tap your way over, and it was just I don't know,
I
something
think
about it just was not for me.
the getting off the skateboard was introduced in the first Underground. It was either Underground 1 or
one was
Underground
that?
2.
I don't remember Underground 2 being able to get off. of the
I was
skate.
gonna say, I think I got Underground 2,
Or was it
and
Wasteland?
then might have been Wasteland because I think we got Underground 2 to try it out, and that one you couldn't get off the skateboard. Like the levels were a little, I don't know. I'd have to go back and play it now.
I won't mind going back and
Being
playing that
older,
actually.
but I would love for them to
What's
remaster them all.
what's the most recent one? Do you know?
Uh,
I mean, they
Pro
recently
Skater
remastered.
5
Yeah.
is the most recent one.
Well, they also remastered Pro
1 and
Skater
2.
1 and 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't there like a whole nother series of games called Skate?
The skate
Yeah.
games are phenomenal. We are never getting Skate 4. Which
That-
is
they
depressing.
teased that like 6 years ago or something like that, and they just haven't fucking said anything since. Because I
Like the,
remember London watched that live when he was streaming. He watched the announcement for Skate, and he like fucking started screaming and crying. We have it clipped on his channel, and I'm like, yeah, you're never getting that game. They're never.
It's like the sequel to Half-Life. It's never coming out.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah. Fuck that.
What would you say is your fondest memory that involves video game?
Ooh. Fondest memory probably be, like I said, I had that birthday party where all my friends were upstairs. And it wasn't really even like playing the game. It was all the stuff that was happening outside of the game, like all
Yeah.
the stupid stuff we were doing together. Like I had this like really thick carpet in my bedroom. One of my buddies was like picking at it, and I had a floor fan, kind of like this one, and it was blowing right on us because it's the middle of summer. It's in Mississippi. It's hot as hell up in this. It's basically an attic. It's hot up there, so we have this fan just bellowing down on us.
Pushing
And
hot
he's-
everywhere.
yeah. So he's got this carpet, and he's got a finger full of carpet fuzz, and he lets it go into the fan, and it goes right into one of my other buddies' mouth, and he's like, it was the funniest thing. And then like all of us are laughing, but my one friend in particular, he had the loudest, talking about the loudest laugh. And so he was trying not to laugh because he knew, like, piss off Griff's mom. But not only would he laugh, but he would like smack his leg. So it was just boom, 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 boom. And so that happened. And then probably like Mario Party. That was one of the very few games that my mom would actually play with us. She's
Yeah.
not a huge video gamer, especially if it's like a first person shooter. She gets motion sick watching like the cameras shift around. But Mario Party was a fond memory because it's me, two brothers, and a little sister. My sister wasn't around at the time, and my youngest brother was probably too young to play. But me, my brother younger than me, my mom, and my old stepdad. But we don't talk about him. But my old stepdad, I think he would like sometimes would play, but normally it was like the three of us. And
Which
that was
one?
the first one.
Mario Party 1?
Yeah, bro. I'm pretty
Damn.
sure.
Damn.
Sure.
I
Or
grew up
maybe
on
it was
8. 8 for the Wii was the one that I played a lot.
whatever one was on the Nintendo 64. It may have been the first.
That would probably be the first.
Yeah, dude. Or Mario Kart. We played
Yeah.
the shit out of that. So a lot of Nintendo stuff was
I think
good,
other than
fond
I think
memories.
other than Game Boy, I think the Wii was really my first introduction to Nintendo. It was Mario Party 8, Mario Kart Wii, or some other Mario Galaxy is a big one for me. That's like one of my favorite Mario
Mhm.
games. Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, you played that on stream not too long ago.
Yeah, we did 1 and 2. I gotta go back and fucking 200% 2 at some
You
point,
got
bro.
that. You got that one clip. You're like, the perspective. It's all weird.
Dude, that game is it's gonna give me fucking trauma. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. Should not be that hard for a Nintendo game.
So what's your fondest memory of the minor?
Depends on which age we talk about. Because I'd like to say, because my stepdad, it's kind of like what you were saying, Griff. Like my mom also wasn't into video games, but she detested them. But like not having them in the house or like talking about them. But if it had to be like her doing it, she's like, no, I'm not touching that shit. Like no. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, it's like, and it would be like, some of them's like, you might actually enjoy this. Like, you should give it a try. She's like, no, I don't do video games. I'm not doing it.
Right.
Whatever. But me and my stepdad, we bonded a lot over video games. And I remember waking up, we played a lot of the Lego games together. We did like the original Batman game. We did the original 2 Lego Star Wars games. But I think one morning I woke up and he had printed out a cheat sheet for Batman. And it was like, wait, it felt like Christmas. He like woke up, he's like, look, I got all these cheat codes that we can like unlock some of the power ups. I was like, oh my God. so like we went through and typing in all the codes for like invincibility and like double money and shit like that. That was really fun.
Dude, that's something you don't
Um,
hear about anymore. Freaking
yeah.
cheat codes in
Cheat
video
codes,
games,
yeah.
not anymore.
Used to get
Yeah.
them in the back of the manuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Or there'd be like books, like
Like physical books you
manual.
had to buy. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be
Yeah,
like
those are-
alphabetical and just cheat codes.
I try and find some of those now because those are cool. There was one I saw for Spirit Tracks, Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. I don't think it's too expensive, but there's like a gamer guide for it. I'm like, that'd be so cool to have. Like, I feel like those are like fun collectible items.
Those scholastic book fairs that would come like,
Oh.
to elementary school. So I'd go in and I'd look for the cheat code books. I'm like, motorcycle. Anyway, it'd be like cheat code books, and I'd pick through them and I'm like, all right, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I'm like, there it is, and I'd take a notepad and just write down stuff. And be like, I'm not buying this whole book. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Steal all the cheat codes out of it.
That's funny. I don't remember if we had Chico books in mine, but I remember, dude, those are a good fucking memory right there. Is the Scholastic Book Fair weeks. I remember going in. There was something about it. I don't think I really ever bought them. I maybe bought a book once or twice, but it was just
Mhm.
it was like going into a library, but like actually seeing things you liked. Because
Yeah.
going into a library normally you're like, it's fucking like all these like thesauruses and like history books. But you go in there, it's like, oh my god, it's tailored for me. And they'd have like the Guinness Book of World Records, and they'd have like the video game record books and like all that kind of shit. That was
The
so fun.
Ripley's Believe It or Not books. You remember
Yeah,
those?
yeah, those too. Did you have those,
I
Ufro?
think we did. Yeah.
Yeah. God. What,
And then
what
they'd
about
have
you?
then they'd have stuff that didn't even relate to books. It'd be like your slinkies and sticky putty and
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
yeah.
Just to fucking grab more money. What's your fondest gaming memory?
I'm trying to think. I had something else in mind, and then Griff mentioned about his mum playing playing the Mario Party with him. Remember, I can't remember how old I was. Definitely around like PS1 times, like that. My mum be obsessed with Tekken 2. Fucking love Tekken 2.
Really?
The only
That's
game
funny.
she'd play was Tekken 2. And then like 16 or 17, something like that. I'd bought a PS3 and I saw that you could buy the original Tekken games off the PlayStation Store. I bought my mum Tekken 2. And it was like this child
sweet.
had just been like reborn.
Yeah.
She looks so giddy. I was like, oh.
I haven't seen this in years.
But
Yes.
it was
Soul
just,
Calibur 2.
just
That's
a,
what I
it was
played.
just a nice memory. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
used to do it with my mum, and then I got to give her the same thing as I got older, kind of situation.
Yeah.
The one I always default back to when I got older was Fallout 4. It's a big one for me because I didn't even know Fallout was a series until I think they had like a trailer come out for it. And I was at school, I was in high school at the time, and my friends were like, "Oh, look, like the new Fallout game! Like I can't wait for this!" And, like they showed it to me, like, "Oh, that looks pretty sick! Like I've never seen this before." And I think I don't even remember. I honestly don't even remember telling my dad about it. But like I guess at some point I told him about it. I was like, "Oh yeah, this game looks pretty fun. Like that'd be kind of cool." Um, maybe like a few days later, I go to school. I walk home, and then like I walk into my bedroom, and I just have Fallout 4 just sitting on my PS4, just like waiting for me. I was like, "What the fuck?" Because like my
No
dad never really
way.
did that kind of thing. So it was like, Christmas and birthday would be like, when do you get shit? He wouldn't ever just like really just sporadically be like, "Hey, here you go." So I mean, that was pretty
Mhm.
special in the moment too. But I don't know, just going through Fallout was just such a journey in itself. Being the one that I started with, I think is also kind of special just because of how tuned up it is compared to the older ones. And then they also had like that season pass they came out with. So it was like as I was playing through the main story, there was like these news updates that they were like, "Hey, this is the next DLC that they're going to be coming out with. But I think I bought the pass, and so like as I was going through it, they would like add DLC every now and then. The biggest one for me was like Nuka World, the amusement park thing that they had. Because like there's like little things around the map. It'd be like, you know, like the Nuka posters, and like, you know, obviously there was like the soda you could find. There's like little bits of like Nuka Cola factory lore and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, it'd be really cool. I was like, I wish you could actually go to the amusement park. I'm like, that'd be so cool to like live, like, you know, see what the amusement park would look like from their perspective, and like get to go around to the different amusement parks and shit. And then they were like, the last of the DLC packs, you're gonna go to Nuka World. I was like, oh, what the fuck? That's so cool. Also, I felt like an actual kid again going through that fucking game, because it was the gift that kept on giving.
Anyway, back to video games. What what's a game that has so much replayability to you that you have gone back and replayed it over and over and over, or something that has kept your interest? Maybe you haven't played it over and over and over, but you come back to it all the time. Like you may disappear from it for like 6 months, and then you're like, I'm going back, I'm playing it. Like, what's one of those games to you guys?
Are we avoiding the obvious ones?
No, throw them out.
Like Skyrim's a very easy one to put on that list.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say Fallout 4. That's the one I always
Yeah.
go back to at least once a year.
Minecraft is everyone gets a Minecraft itch like every year.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
dude,
the
yeah.
meme now. That's the meme now. Is like there's the Minecraft week or some shit that we're like, all
Mhm.
you and the boys get the itch for a week.
You get your Minecraft like 2 weeks or a month at a
Yeah,
stretch, and then it's like, yeah, I'm done for the year now. I'll come back in a bit.
Portal is another one for me. Portal 2. You wouldn't really think it has too much playability, but I still go back to Portal every now and then, just to kind of like relive it. Because Portal was one that I got kind of like obsessed with for a while, because there's so much fucking story in it for a puzzle game. And just like Half-Life, I'm never gonna get any more fucking Portal games, but
Mhm.
just kind of have to sit there and play 2 over and over again. But I don't know. It's just that was such a good game. So much humor and great art style, even for back in the day. 'Cause I think it came out like what 20
Very long time ago.
7?
Something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about 7. Yeah.
2007 actually, because we looked this up the other day. I think 2007 was when Portal 1 came out. Portal 2 was probably like 2012.
2009. I don't think Portal 2 is that young. Got to be older than that, surely.
I think it was like 2012 or something. But yeah, man. So I used to like watch deep dive videos on that with like Ratman and
Oh,
I guess
2011.
they had like a 2011. Okay, yeah, there you go. It's pretty close. They had like, I guess they had comic books that tied into the Portal games too,
Mhm.
going into like the story of Ratman and stuff like that. So I just watched
That
videos
was-
on that.
That wouldn't surprise me. They've
Yeah.
got graphic novels, comic books, and spin-offs of freaking everything.
Yeah, I feel like every game does that now.
I think my comfort game's probably Dark Souls 2. I know it's seen as like the worst one in the series, but I don't know, just something about that game pulls me more into it than what 103 does. Like, I know the war's more interesting. Like the game
Did you grow
mechanics.
up on 2?
Oh, 2 came out when I was 18.
I was gonna say, because maybe if you grew up on it, that's why. Because I mean, going back to Fallout 4, it's seen as like the worst Fallout game in the series, but it's like, well, that's the one that I played first, so it's just kind of holds a special place. Because I know everybody will say like, you know, New Vegas is better than that, or like 3.
But that's what I mean. You think it'd be a game that you grew up with, but I don't know. I grew up with games like the Black Box era Need for Speed games and like Tony Hawk's Underground 1, Underground 2, Wasteland,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I don't know. None of them seem to. Well, besides Most Wanted, none of the games really make me want to replay them now.
Yeah.
But then Dark Souls 2 just
fair.
has this itch that it tickles every time I play it.
Yeah.
I totally get that with the Dark Souls things, because instead of it being Dark Souls 2, I tend to replay Dark Souls 1 a
Mhm.
whole lot. And there's always different builds you can do, and be like, oh, instead of me going down this path to start off the game, let me go down this path. And then you're like, I'm getting bodied by these fucking things. I'm going back to the route that I normally take. You know,
How many
Dark
times
Souls
did
1.
how many times did you go into the graveyard or Firelink before you realised you were going the wrong way?
I think I did that only once. I realized, the graveyard is dangerous. I
Mhm.
couldn't kill the skeletons. They keep coming back. No, no, no. That's not to get down in the crypt. The surface skeletons you can kill, but it was just too hard. And I was like, yeah, I'm staying away from there. There's got to be a different way. And then you end up finding your way to the undead Berg or whatever it's called.
So you learned your lesson quite quickly. Then I was there for about
Oh
2 hours.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
the kind of person that if a certain area or enemy is too difficult, I will try it multiple times, just to see. Maybe the first time I didn't do it, I'm gonna sit here and try to learn it. But if I can't get it, I'm gonna run away, go grind out some more levels,
No,
or find
fuck
an
that
alternate
shit,
route.
dude. Fuck that. If it's not working the first time, I'm gonna beat my fucking head into that tree until I beat it, just to show it that I'm fucking better than it. Like,
So it's because obviously I've played like a shit ton of RPGs, and obviously the weakest enemy in every other RPG is a fucking skeleton.
yeah,
So I saw skeletons and was like, that's where I need to go.
yeah.
And then got fucking harassed for hours. And then I
Yeah,
turned
you're
it.
supposed to be easy. What's happening?
No, 'cause I went into the game and was like, oh, this Dark Souls game's hard. I was like, oh, all right, whatever. Shut up. I can do this. Went
Yeah.
in, got my shit rocked for a few hours, and then I turned round and spotted the bridge that leads into Undeadburg. I was like, oh, can I go that way? And they have a tenth of the health of the fucking skeletons that I've just been fighting. So this is the way that I'm supposed to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dude, Dark Souls 1 is probably the only game that I can think of that has made me cry. Not out of like something being sad or like emotional. Well, it was emotional, but it was Havel. He's at the bottom of the tower. I finally unlock the little door to get down to him. I go down to Havel. I die to him. This is the one time I do not hold to my standard of, oh, I can't beat it. Let me run away and I'll come back later when I'm stronger. I had a grudge for this son of a bitch. And I would get him so close to death. And then he'd take that big ass like dragon tooth hammer and he'd like swing at me and I'd be like, oh, dodge. And then at the last second, the game would be like, oh, nope, I'm redirecting. And it would just smash me and kill me.
God.
And that happens so many times. I even tried to do this thing where you lure him up the stairs and you jump off and let him take fall damage till he dies. And then I learned you could backstab him. But for some reason, I had the hardest time killing him. And I remember where I was. I was in the military. I was in my buddy's in his guest room because I was staying with him for a little bit. And I had my little TV, my little Xbox, and I'm sitting there grinding this shit out. I finally kill him. I was trying to beat him for like an hour and a half. I finally kill Havel. I dropped my controller and I was like, fucking finally. And I legit started crying. I was like, oh my God. I was like crying. I was like, he's like, you good? I'm like, I finally fucking beat this dude. He's like, you're a fucking nerd, bro.
Dude, I think the only game that I've cried out of rage from, you guys are gonna laugh at me from this. Clash Royale.
Clash Royale. Wait,
Clash
the phone
Royale.
game?
Yeah. Dude, in high school,
Oh,
I had
man.
it was like me and the dudes in Spanish class played Clash Royale, and I was fucking dog shit at Clash Royale. Like I could not find a set of cards that I was good with. And it would be the thing where I'm like, this fucking company's out to get me, brother. Because like I would spend money to get card packs and chests and shit. And like, cause I was like, because for a while I didn't have like any legendaries, and I was like in like stage like 6 or 7. I'm like, there's no way I don't have a legendary at this point, so I'd buy some. Um, like it would be like a thing where like I'd be like 1 or 2 battles away from going to the next stage, and then I'd lose like 12 to 13 games in a row. And it would just be like this one scumbag after the next with like either a meta tactic or they were just fucking nerds at the game. I remember this one day where I was like, it was like a school night, and I was like just sitting in bed just trying to play it. And I lost like maybe 6 or 7 in a row. I'm just sitting there, I'm punching my pillow, and I'm like crying. I'm like, God, why? Like, this I need to fucking rank up. I'm like, just give me someone I can beat. Fucking that game. That game did a number on me, dude.
That's funny, man.
I think the only game that's got me, like, it's Griff, you should understand this. Ornstein and Smo,
Oh yeah.
those fuckers.
I'm not gonna lie. It took me a second to process what you said.
Yeah, I was
I was
like,
like,
what is
I was like, what is an Ornstein Smo? I was like, Ornstein and Smo. Okay.
Ornstein and Smo, yeah.
It's your accent.
Like,
buddy.
legit, 2 weeks. 2 weeks trying to do that boss.
Is that
No
a Dark
way.
Souls boss?
2
Oh
weeks.
yeah.
2 fucking weeks trying to do that boss. It's you've got big guy does a shit ton of damage but is really slow, and nimble guy who does little damage but is really fucking quick. And then whichever one you kill first, you get a little cutscene, and then the other person gets their abilities.
Oh God.
So Ornstein, big guy, big fucking hammer. If you kill if you kill Ornstein first, Smo, who's the big guy with the big hammer, gets fucking lightning powers. And he just fucking drops ass on you. And it's like this massive
Literally.
literally he sits on you, he jumps up and just goes, and just fucking sits on you. But it's like this massive fucking like electric like AoE attack, and every fucking time I'd be so close. That fucking attack would kill me. Without fail, every single fucking time. The
Did you ever
one
do-
time that I killed Smo first, killed Ornstein, second phase, straight away.
Wow.
Did you ever do the cheese where you kill Smo first, Ornstein gets really huge, and as he's chasing you around the map, he like does that little thing where he looks at you and he backsteps and he goes through the map and he falls out of the map and dies?
Yeah, I've never been
Do that
lucky enough
cheese?
to get that.
I've never been able to do it, but I've seen people do it and they're like, oh, it's so easy. Just run over here and do this. And then all of a sudden Ornstein jumps out. And I would try it because I would have the same problem when I first started playing that. And same thing with the freaking, what was this? The Taurus demon, the very first Taurus demon you meet on the bridge. Apparently it can jump back and kill itself by jumping off the bridge.
Yep, never had that either.
No, every time I've tried to do a cheese, I can never get it to work. I can never make it work.
I hate looking at people fighting bosses on games because they're always like, yeah, just do this one little thing here, and then like you're chilling. So I remember it was the final boss of God of War Ragnarok. I sat
Mhm.
there for like 3 hours and I could not fucking beat it. And then I looked up I was like, okay, let's just at least watch someone do it because maybe I'm just not doing something correctly. And the one fucking video I find, this guy had like some cheesy ass armor set with like a whole bunch of different abilities where he would like use like an ability, summon, and it would kill it. And I'm like, well, that's just fucking gross. I'm like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that shit.
That's not
So
fun.
I'm like, yeah. So I was like, fuck it. I think I lowered the difficulty for the final boss because I was like, I've been at this for 5 hours. I'm just trying to platinum the game. It's like I have nothing to prove.
Notice that was a thing with Elden Ring when it first came out. It's like the first like proper boss of the game. I got a Morgott or something
Yeah,
like that.
Margot or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ow,
He
Thomas.
was beating my ass like for like 6-7 hours straight. I was clearly underleveled, but I was doing this fucking head against a wall thing, thinking I was just gonna topple him.
Yeah.
So lost my fucking patience. Went on YouTube. How to easily kill Morgott. It was go to Caelid, which is a fucking mid-game area, and get this spell, and fuck off to fucking hire Hrothgar in a different game and go and get this armor set.
Yeah.
It's then you come in, you just cast this spell and he dies. This is the first boss, brother. Like, why are you in the end game areas to get shit? This isn't how to easily kill the boss. This is how to
Right.
speed run the fucking gate. That's something ruined Elden Ring when it first came out.
Yeah,
Was
I never played any of the Dark Souls games or Elden Ring, but I remember when it first came out, like everybody at work was playing it, and I remember them being like, "Yeah, dude, all you got to do is get a fucking summon, and it will just kill everything for you." And I was like, "So why are you playing the game? Like, what are you? You're not even doing anything. You're just like releasing a wolf or some shit, and it just kills the entire boss for you." Going back to like fond memories, Club Penguin was also a big fucking thing for me as a kid.
Oh my god, here we go.
dude, like I got obsessive with Club Penguin because we had like one of those like thick ass computers.
Teachers?
Like it was teachers. Yeah,
So
had this
sorry.
dumpy of a teacher, bro. She was my club baddie. Nah. It's like one of those like thick like home computers like the family would use. And I would play it. I'd play Club Penguin on that, but it was like obviously it was one of those games where you had to have like a membership to like do half the shit in there. So
Mhm.
it was like every time I would get like a monthly membership or some shit, yeah, oh dude, it was like I don't know. It was magical. And like I didn't have a mouse either, so I had to use the trackpad bullshit
Oh,
on the
God.
fucking thing. So I was trying to play Club Penguin on that. And there were certain mini games like the pizza making one where it was a lot of like click and drag with like you'd like put the sauce on the pizza and then you'd like drag the different ingredients on there. And the PC would get, or the computer, whatever it was, it would get so hot that I'm just sitting there giving my finger fucking like heat burn, sitting there trying to like sweat on this trackpad making pizzas, trying to make money.
You're rubbing your
It was-
fingertips off.
Pretty much. But I had like this manila folder. It was like a laminated manila folder, and I had like lined paper that I stapled in there, and it was like all the different things I was working for and how much it would cost. Then I had like which mini games would make me which what's money, like which like fucking how much money. So I was like min maxing Club Penguin at the time, and I had like I think I kept all of my membership cards. I think I have this somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I think I have the folder still. But I think Club Penguin was a big fucking part of my childhood growing up.
I didn't really get into Club Penguin
Mm-mm.
that much. It was what was the game called?
It was like Pop Tropica and like
No, it was like you made like a little person and you had like your own little help. Habbo Hotel.
What's it called?
Habbo
Hobbit
Hotel.
Hotel.
Habbo HABBO. Habbo Hotel.
Habbo Hotel. I've never heard of that one.
It was essentially you got like your own little hotel room. It was like a fucking role playing thing.
Okay.
Mm.
Looking back, it probably wasn't very safe to be on that at that point in the internet.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were on the safe parts of the internet as
Oh,
kids.
definitely
Yeah.
not. But it was like you got your own little hotel room. You got to go off. You could be like a bartender in the hotel. You can go be a singer. You could play in like a little fucking band in the bar. And you earned like all the in-game currency. You bought like fucking real cool
Yeah.
outfits. And like you decorate your room and all that type of shit.
Do you have one of those types of games, like those
Oh.
old?
Mm-hmm. So, other than RuneScape, there was this other game that my school had like had a really strict security like
Yeah.
computer guy, and he would block everything, dude. He would block your freaking calculator app on the computer if he could. But there was this one game he'd never caught on to it. I don't know if it's because we were all super secretive about it or what, but it was called Yville.
That
And you
sounds
were
familiar.
you were like this floating face, and like that hotel game, you could like
I
put little
remember
clothes
this.
on 'em, a hat, a hair, makeup, whatever, and you would have to log in, and all the other kids in class would be playing it in the computer lab or something, and you'd have to make sure that oh, we're all here at this location, and we come in and be like, oh, freaking Savannah's not here, but Kelsey is, and TJ's over there. So then you'd have to kind of play around until everyone's in the same server, and
Oh my
then you
god,
just
this game
ran.
looks fucked.
Yeah, dude, it's not a good looking game. It's not a good looking game.
Jesus.
But I remember just watching people play it, and I was like, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. I'm not playing it. Until
Yeah.
this one girl that I had a huge crush on played it. And I was like, I'm gonna play it.
Hey, yeah.
So I'd join in. They're like, "Who's this guy?" And I'm like, "It's Griff." They're like, "Oh, anyway."
Uh,
Yeah.
damn.
So I didn't really play it, but it's one of those games that it sounds similar to what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those
100%.
cursed ass freaking flash games or whatever.
Yeah. I think Balloons Tower Defense was really big in school, like
Mhm.
because that game was like fine. So like the after school program that I went to, everyone would play Balloon Towers Defense, and we would see who could get to the highest level before they got picked up by their parents and like stuff like that. Dude, the original Balloons Tower Defense, if you guys have ever played it, it's fucking brutal. Like it's
Really?
impossible almost. Like everything after the first one's fine, but if you try and play the first one, like I don't even think it's beatable. Get a
I
few
never
levels
played-
in, you die.
I played a couple of those games. Maybe 3, 4, and 5 for sure. And
Yeah.
Are they on number 6 now?
Yeah, I think
6 is out now, yeah.
It's on Steam, for God's sake.
I've
Yeah,
got
I
it.
don't know if I might
do
have
too.
it. I don't know. Those are
87p.
fun little games.
Yeah, they have a mobile one too called like Balloon. I think it's just like Balloon City or something. Squash and I were
Mhm.
playing that for a while. It's like one of those like Clash of Clans type games. They
Oh yeah,
build up
yeah.
the town, and to like expand your land, you have to play like a mini game of the actual game. So there'd be like a certain amount of rounds, and like depending on how far you've expanded it, like the levels get more and more difficult. So you're gonna have like more types of monkeys and like different abilities. But that one's pretty fun too.
Yeah, or to be like, you can only use these 3 types of monkeys to beat this round.
Right,
You
something like that.
couldn't. Yeah. I think I played a little bit of that one.
Yeah. That one's
It's
good,
also
man.
on Steam.
Oh,
Other-
is it the Balloon City?
Yeah. Pretty dang sure. Me
Oh,
seeing
yeah,
I'm
it is.
blind.
Yeah, I remember. Fucking Squash and I would sit there in VC and just play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
What's the no lives?
Yeah, man. Webkins was another one that I got into when I was younger. Because Webkins was the ones where you had to buy a stuffed animal and it came with the code, and like the code would take that stuffed animal into the game. That's probably like the first like like how you like Skylanders and all that kind of shit. I feel like Webkins was probably the first one of that kind. Now that I think about it, but that was
There's
fun.
one that I can think of when I was a kid. I think it was called Scanners, and you used to scan like the barcodes on products in supermarkets, and
Yeah.
you'd get like a little. It's like a Tamagotchi with a barcode scanner on it. You'd scan the barcodes, and you get a little monster like trading between your mates.
Yeah.
Like, battle. It was
The
really cool.
imagination people had back in like the early 2000s with like crazy little video games, like they're not successful because they're not around anymore today, or they're very like they have a very small cult following type thing going on with them. But they were so creative. Like I had like what you just said about scan a barcode and you get a little offshoot Pokemon looking thing. Like
Yeah.
that's so cool. Like you don't hear about that kind of crap no more.
Yeah, Webkins was so in depth too, because like you got like I think every Webkin you had in had like their own room that you could like buy furniture for. It's like play mini games to earn money. And they even like the thing that I remember the most was like the fucking cooking channel. So you would watch the cooking channel and it would show you how to make food, but like you would have to do certain things in order for the food to turn out. And I remember every time I would try to cook food, it'd be a bowl of gray shit. Like it would turn out to like be mush. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I think you needed like special cooking appliances or something. Because every time I'd watch it and I would try it, it would my food would turn up fucked, and it would make my webcam depressed because I'd just be feeding it gray shit.
Oh, I got gray slop again. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh,
God's
cheers,
giving me
mana.
gray stuff to eat.
Here's some gray goo, but we put a little bit of lemon pepper in it this time.
Yeah.
Bit of seasoning.
In my existence.
I had this bulldog Webkins, and I wanted him to have a pirate theme. So anything pirate related, I would buy it and I'd put it in his room.
Mhm.
And it got to the point where his room was so full that he couldn't move, and I didn't know how to like edit and rearrange the room. So I think he went to go take a nap, and then he couldn't move out of the bed because there was so much shit in the way. So he basically fucking died. because all of like his health and his stamina and everything just slowly drained over time. And I'm like, get out of bed, like move.
I can't move, father.
Yeah, the pirate flag's in my way.
The Jolly Roger is making me depressy.
Yeah, that poor bulldog.
Just on the topic of things that we had when we were kids, what's a dead series you'd bring back?
Ooh.
A good one.
You talking about video games or TV or what?
Video games.
Jack and Daxter.
There was one a couple of years ago,
100%.
weren't there?
I mean, there was
Or am I
yeah,
thinking of
Jack 1, Jack 2, Jack
Am I
3.
thinking of Ratchet and
then you had
Clank?
Jack. Oh yeah,
That's
you're
like-
thinking of
that's
Ratchet and
like
Clank.
had one, yeah. They did
Mhm.
one recently.
Yeah, so Jack and Daxter had Jack and Daxter, Jack 2, Jack 3, you had the Jack Racing game. Then there was another one. I never played it, but it's got such a bad review to it, and just people hate it that people don't really even associate it as a Jack and Daxter game. Like at all. Like apparently the storyline is shit, the voice acting is shit. They took people out of the game and replaced them with different voices that sound nothing alike. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called, but I would love to see a a modernized version of Jack and Daxter. Be sweet.
I think going back to what I said, I'd love to see a new Tony Hawk game. A lot of the games I grew up on, they have remastered, like the Lego Star Wars games. They came out with the Skywalker Saga game that was completely fucking revamped the entire game. Other things I've grown up on, like God of War and Uncharted, they've kind of kept those alive. So I feel like Tony Hawk, even though I'm not like big into like skateboarding games or anything like that anymore, I'd love to see like a new one. I'd definitely play it.
Don't know if you've you heard of a game series called Driver.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so it was I think it started on the PS1,
That sounds about right.
and it was effectively you just a driver, like you go around dropping people off. That was the premise of the first game. It's kind of like Crazy Taxi in a way. It wasn't necessarily like a timed thing.
Yeah.
And then we had Parallel Lines, which came out for PS2. I think that was the last driver game that we had. And it had like, this really cool, like gritty, in-depth storyline to it. And then we've had nothing since. And
So what about Driver 3?
Driver 3 was before Parallel Lines, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just remember Driver 3 being very Grand Theft Auto like.
Let's have a look. I'm sure 3 came out before Parallel Lines.
Because I remember
You're-
playing the third one on like Xbox, maybe 360, maybe something like that.
So Driver 3 came out in 2004.
I'm old. God damn.
Parallel Lines
Oh,
came
wow.
out in doesn't exist apparently. Okay. Cheers.
Nice. Yeah, it's just in your head.
2000 question mark. That is the next game. You're just foreseeing it.
Yeah.
2006. So it's been 18 years since we got a driver game.
God
Jeez.
dang.
Because that game
Reminded me
came
of,
out in 2006. That is a fucking amazing game. That probably still holds up till today.
Yeah. Find that a lot of the time. I mean, I'm playing through a lot of games that are from like back in the day, and they're holding up pretty damn well. Like that Alice game came out in 2011. The game's fucking like so tight, and the graphics look so good. Like for how old it is, it's like
That was back in like the peak of gaming though, wasn't it? When everyone was like, everyone was on like the top, like everyone was putting out like top shelf games, and like,
Yeah.
there was still like passion going into making games rather than it just being a money
Mhm.
thing.
right.
I'll tell you a game that's still. Some people may disagree, but I know there's a big following. Is the Fable games, Fable 1, Fable 2. You replay those, like even now, phenomenal games. They may not look the best, but God, their story and just like overall funness of them, the Fable first and second Fable games are up there for me.
I don't think the third one held up to the first and second one.
Wasn't that the one where like you your brother was the king or something, and he turned out to be like dickhead or
Yeah.
something. I don't
You,
remember.
I
Yeah.
think like, your dad died, and then your brother got to take the throne, but he's a bit of a twat.
Uh,
So you-
Yeah, and he's a terrible leader, and then there's like this dark force coming, and yeah, the first and second one were great. They're coming out with a new one. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, Fable 4.
2026, I think it comes out.
God,
Damn.
Jesus.
At that point, I wish they just wouldn't even tell us. Like, tell us when it's like a year away. You know,
Dude, it's
like,
yeah, it's like not Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls, dude. When is
Yeah,
when
we,
is Elder
we got
Scrolls 6 coming
shown
out?
that like 10-second thing of them flying over and saying Elder Scrolls 6 in like 2019.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a fair few fucking years since we saw that. But nothing else
Yeah.
since.
yeah. It's like, you know, GTA and like, you know, Fable and all these kind of games. It's like I would rather you guys tell us like when it's closer, because like God of War did that with they had like a Ragnarok DLC that came out, and it was like they were like, this is coming out next month, and people were like, oh fuck, like, you know, that's sick as hell. And it was like a free add-on DLC. It's like I'd rather that, because then I'm gonna have to sit here and expect this game for years, you know, and it's
Mhm.
gonna drive me crazy. I'd rather just not know about it. They did
So-
that with the Skywalker saga too. They I think they came out. They said it was going to come out like 2018, 2019, and then COVID hit and all that kind of stuff, and then they had to delay it, and then they wanted to make sure it was like good, so then they delayed it for another year. And it was like just all this fucking build up for it to finally come out. It's like, God, it's a lot.
It's the whole thing of like games not being able to meet expectations. So, like as much as we're all
Right.
looking forward to GTA 6, it's not going to live up to what everyone's expecting it.
Yeah, because people have been waiting like what fucking 10,
Oh, it's
12 years.
2013, I think GTA 5 came out.
I think so.
So yeah,
So
11 years.
we're looking at 12 years by the time it's released.
That's crazy.
Like there's like obviously they bought the I don't know whether they bought or they just like acquired the team that works on 5M.
Oh yeah.
So those servers are probably going to be an official thing in GTA 6.
Hmm.
But even that's only going to extend the life of the game.
Yeah, because the modders
Mhm.
they add so much stuff, and when
Yeah.
the actual developer reaches out to people that are famous or popular modders, you know that not only do they appreciate their work, but they realize and recognize their talent, and they're like, "You've made this game, 10 times more popular with this mod that you put out. We want to work with you on our next game."
Mm-hmm.
So that energy that you put into that mod, we want it into the base game.
Yeah,
Here's-
Minecraft did that.
Here's mm-hmm.
Or obviously you get Minecraft and Rockstar that have done that with their modders, and then you get companies like Bethesda. They're like, oh yeah, we'll take these mods that were free for years, we'll put them into our little creation club, and now you can fucking buy them.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
It's like
Like-
not even their work.
Oh, you've got a console, yeah, fuck you. You're not getting access to all the mods. You can buy half of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Aether mod, I think it was, for Minecraft. There was the person who worked on that. It was like it's like the most well-known Minecraft mod. It basically added heaven to Minecraft, and whoever made that, I think Minecraft like finally had added him to their team. Not to work on the Aether, which a lot of people had skepticized for a while. They're like, oh, they added this person to their team. Like maybe they'll work on the Aether. I think it was like a lot of the stuff that they did to make like all the coding they did in it. They appreciated that and they looked at it and they hired him on to help out the other staff with that. So it's pretty cool when you see stuff like that.
Can't think of any other instances just off the top of my head where developers have reached out to modders and like embraced it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like Bethesda embraces it, but they're just like, yeah, keep doing your thing and make our game better, but we're not gonna fucking hire you on. We'll just take your free labor.
If anybody does know of any games like that,
Pop into our Twitch streams and be like, "Yo, douchebag, this game, these people
Yeah.
did this." But like, all right, cool. So then
And
that way we
don't
can
give
address it.
don't give any context either. Be like, Jack and Daxter did this, and we're like, who the fuck are you? What's happening?
Huh?
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Who's Creeper Slayer 69 and why are they shouting at me?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
all right. So
Miner and Yukro are bullying me. They're making me come up with some crazy elaborate thing, and I'm not
on the spot.
I'm not cool with being creative like that on the spot. It just kind of has to flow.
So if this
Um,
episode doesn't do well, it's because of Griff.
yeah, I suck, but this is our first podcast. We appreciate you guys listening. If you came all the way this fucking far, I don't know why I sound like I'm from Long Island, but I'm totally not. I'm quirky like that. I do voices. Anyway, so we appreciate you guys listening as far as we can. Come back next week. We'll have another episode where we talk random bullshit and we don't even know what we're going to be doing yet. So it's going to be just as much of a surprise to us as it will be to you. And later.
Bye.
This has been Ukro, Griffy Gruff, and Deep Miner signing out.